Okay, everybody, we're back. We are back for the second live of the day. We're live at Glen Affric Brewery, brewing a beer with Glen Affric. I'm with Craig. How you doing, Craig?
I'm all right, running around as usual, but brew day's going good.
Brilliant, fantastic. So we're brewing a fantastic juicy pale ale, which I'm really excited for. It's going to be ready for mid-May, when hopefully we have some wonderful weather. We've got a juicy pale ale to enjoy. To be honest, I can't wait. I literally cannot wait for it. So
The
excited.
team's getting excited about this one too. We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun one.
So you've got a couple of things to show us. So first of all, I think because I titled it Transfer, let's discuss what we're doing now. If you could explain to the lovely people what we're doing.
Yeah, so essentially what we're doing now is, now that the malt sat there for an hour with all of its hot water, we're going to extract that water and separate it from the malt. So that's the actual wort transfer itself, going from the mash tun into the kettle, separating the grains from all that lovely sugar water. So that's part of the process that they're doing now. So they're just starting it now. So again, similar to before, they're trying to get the feel of the speeds and everything, so I don't want to get in their way just yet. But what they have done for me is given me a wort sample. So that's the colour it's going to look like roughly.
Fantastic. That looks really good. That looks really good.
Of course,
is it nice and warm and sweet?
It's incredibly hot. You can see the steam coming off it just there. So yeah, it smells very bready, biscuity, as you would expect for something that's just pale in oats. As you can see, there's already a good amount of haze in there.
So. That looks really, really good. Really, really good. We got 34 people in, so can you wonderful 34 people hit the like button so we can get this stream out there for everybody to enjoy. It is technically now Friday afternoon, so we're going to have some fun this afternoon with this brew. Yeah, so you bought some new kit for the brewery, is that right?
Yeah, we've just taken delivery of a couple of new bits. Well, one big important thing. So I'll tell you what, while these guys are getting set up, how about we go over next door?
Let's go and have a look. Let's have a look.
Let me pick you up.
Yeah, let's go.
Reposition. There you go, just have to not flexing or something. But,
so we got some nice comments. Looks awesome. Good work, boys. And Brian the Beer Snob saying, I wish we can get it over here in America. Joe Biden's
we're probably going to sell out of this thing anyway. Knowing your fans, we're probably going to sell out pretty sharpish.
Oh, it's going to be so cool. I can't wait to get all of the branding and everything. I just can't wait to see what it looks like.
We're working on that. So I'll tell you what, I'll show you this first. That's our other tank farm.
I think I set up did some reviews.
Just over my left shoulder here. You had a little table there with some, you did some beer reviews the last time you were here as well.
It was like being in a church hall, wasn't it?
It is a bit biblical, some of these tanks.
Amazing.
So on just over my right shoulder here is 4 90 hectolitre tanks. So those are 9,000 litre tanks. So that's a triple brew for us. So usually pretty long days for those guys, but that's what we need to do for some of our contract work with some of our own beers. Particularly our house lager, Lock and Load. That's now, we're brewing that every other week at this point for bars opening up.
Is that your most popular beer at the moment?
Yeah,
Lock and Load?
Lock and Load, Highland Santan, and then we've also got a couple of other beers, but those are the two ones that we brew quite often. Excuse the noise, of course, it's a working brewery.
John saying, wow, there's some big old uni tanks there, he's saying.
Yeah, and then we've got 8, I think it's either 8 or 6, 8 6,000 litre tanks as well in there. And then 1 9,000 litre bright tank in there as well. So this is where the bulk of our large volume production goes. Our 30 hectolitre tanks are all empty right now, I think. We've got 1 or 2 more beers left in there. But then what's happening is they're actually going to go across the street. We've got another unit. So we're going to be moving tanks around quite a lot in the next couple of months with some expansion that's been happening. We've been lucky to come out of lockdown, expanding. So we've been very fortunate in that case.
How's the situation been for you? I mean, with all the breweries having to lock down, and how have you guys managed to get from where we were when we brewed Stone the Ghost from this point here? Is it been kind of just, great help from the government, of course, but has it been kind of just like taking it month by month, even week by week?
Initially, it was similar to that, where we didn't know what, obviously, as everybody else, we didn't know what we were walking into effectively.
Yeah.
So we shut up shop for about 6 weeks, about 4 to 6 weeks roughly. We had people coming in because, of course, we had stuff in tanks. So we had to have some team members come in, but it was just one person who, didn't know the extent of how big the C word was going to affect everything. So we just like, right, one person go in, check all the tanks. They just spend half a day making sure everything's okay, nothing's broken, nothing's leaking.
Yeah.
And then once we start to get a grip of, right, okay, this is going to be a long-term thing, we need to look at long-term revenue streams. So part of our business, we've never been really shy about it. It's just been a massive growth spurt for us, was contract manufacturing for other breweries and other brands. That's what we do a lot of now. That's basically allowed us to scale up our business threefold effectively. We've now doubled our workforce during lockdown. So we've been very grateful now. It was by no means easy. It was fantastically difficult. It's probably one of the hardest years of our very short life as a brewery. We've only been going since the very tail end of 2016, effectively the beginning of 2017. So to come into year 3 with just like, hey, here's this to deal with, it's been fun.
We got Joe Biden's census in Ohio, in America. First of all, he said it was 7:30 in the morning over there. And he said this beer is going to sell out in record time, guaranteed. The power of the Stone Crow is going to be demonstrated.
Yeah,
but you guys are going to do a great job.
I 100% believe that as well. Having been in your live chats and having made a beer with you and sold it on your live streams, I can personally confirm that is the case.
For me, it's like this beer is the stars aligning. The summer's come in. We're going to brew something really juicy, something people are really going to want to drink.
And it's also very serendipitous timing, considering it was just over a year ago that we were doing our first collab anyway. So I think that worked quite well in our favor.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, so we should look to do it each year. I think keep it going.
We'd be happy to do it every single year. We'd do something and launch it for the summer.
And try and win some more awards. Some more awards.
Well, we're going to be walking to a very competitive category with a 4.5% hazy pale ale. I think it's definitely something we're going to try and do.
Do you know? My thoughts is that everybody's been cooped up now for a year. They've not been able to go to the pubs. I think it's going to be like the swinging 20s again, the 1920s.
There's definitely a vibe of that for sure. I would agree on that. There's still loads of things up in the air about making sure that we're still following the correct protocols. As anybody can see, obviously I'm not wearing a mask right now, but I'm staying pretty far away from all the team as much as I can. Everybody else is masked up, so it's making sure that when customers come back, they're respectful of the rules. And that's why, because we're, for those that didn't hear the announcement before, we just announced yesterday that our bar is going to be back open 3 days a week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we're opening up tonight at 5 p.m. The team's been working non-stop. I have to give some public kudos here to a lot of our team, especially Rob, our facilities manager. He's been incredible at helping get the tap room back up to a speed that we can open up. We will now have 10 tables tonight. We do have 15 tables on site, but we want to do 10 just to get kind of our foot feeding. We've got a whole new system. It's ordering at the table with the QR code, with your phone. There's no app to download. The whole system's bang on perfect.
Right. So it's nice and streamed.
Yeah, it's really streamlined. You can see everything that we've got. All our draft cans, sodas, snacks, all that stuff is in a menu. It's easy to pick. It's table specific, so we know exactly who it's going to. But it's all that stuff of getting back up to speed. We don't want to put all these infrastructures in place and then just have people, be lunatics about it. The world is not back to normal. We need to remind people of that. Like, pubs are not back to normal yet.
Well, I had my letter this morning, to be honest. Just on a personal level, my letter come through this morning. I'm a bit of an old bloke now, so I gotta go now. Yeah. So I'll have a couple of cans of Red Bull before I go to their.
No, my parents already had my parents have had their first one already, so that's been It's been good to see the rollout happening. So. But in terms of equipment stuff like that, if we're actually walking around, and this is our original canning line just behind me. We've got some pallets of goods that are going out tomorrow, or Monday, I should say, at this point. So this is our old canning line that we bought. It's got to be coming on just over 2.5 years ago at this point. Time is very difficult now because we just forget that there was a year of nothing happening. Put in perspective, the canning line you will have seen earlier in some other shots, we took delivery of that. I'm not joking, about 18 days before lockdown happened.
Wow.
So that was interesting. And for a brand new canning line, just then be not using it. That was fun.
Well, the demand for cans went through the roof, didn't it?
Well,
So
that's where our initial business was. In terms of our contract business that we were talking about earlier, it was contract canning. And we still do a lot of that. I mean, even this week, between this week and next week, we're contract packaging, not brewing, just packaging 27,000 litres for somebody.
Wow. So the beer turns up to you, or you actually brew the beer?
No, it varies. It varies depending on what it is. For that contract specifically, it's a tanker that shows up. So 2 tankers over 2 weeks, and we'll just package that up. But that's been our skill set is packaging stuff effectively and with very, very, very low dissolved oxygen levels, sometimes even removing the dissolved oxygen that was in solution for our us, and then packaging all out and with very low losses as well. So our team's been, our packaging team has had a mega challenge on their hands in the last year, and they've really stepped up. So I have to give them credit for that as well. That kind of stuff has allowed us to grow our business and build the team out. And we've now got 22 full-time employees, I think, at last count. I think we've added 1 this week.
Brilliant.
So it's hard for me to keep track of everything, to be honest. We've got a team of seniors that now kind of deal with everything for different departments. So it's been a fun year. And then
we got one.
If you've got any questions, I'm happy to fire away and answer.
We got one from Gareth Bunton saying, "Great to see responsible business practice, brilliant attitude. Hope it all goes well." And then we got one. How much does a canning line cost these days?
Put it in perspective, you can get a canning line for 5 figures. It's in the high 5 figures. But if you need all the kit and caboodle to go along with it, a loading table, a labeler, you're still talking, even at the low end, if you want a really good functioning canning line that you can actually really use at scale, these lines run at about 1,800. I think this one maxes out about 1,800 cans an hour. Our new one does about 2,500 an hour.
Yeah.
You're looking at the best part of 120 to 150 when you're all in.
Wow, that's incredible.
So that new line that we had arrived 18 days before lockdown was in a similar price bracket. Let's say that.
Amazing that you got it. Yeah, you got it in and you were able to kind of like crack on. Because I know a lot of breweries, they were waiting a long time to have their beer put into cans, and they had lots of problems.
Yeah.
Cans being damaged, and it's a real shame.
Yeah, no, that's where we really pride ourselves, because we are an active brewery. We make our own beer, so we know where the pain points are. We know what people are looking for, because it's the same stuff that we would be looking for. I mean, we were very beneficial in that we ended up, by happenstance, having 2 canning lines on site, because the initial plan was to get our new line up and running and then sell this one on, the one that's just behind me here. But as soon as we realized what the situation was, it's like, no, we actually have a massive advantage here that we've got 2 packaging lines. Let's utilize that. So we can have 2 different products being packaged at the same time, and that's why we've got a massive packaging team now, because we were able to scale that side of the business effectively. So we could be contract packaging something and still be packaging our own things in the next unit.
Are you still? Because the last time I was up, there's a lot of barrel aging going on. Are you still got your barrel aging project?
To be honest, we've still got the stuff in barrels. They've stayed in there for an extra year.
Wow!
So probably jet fuel at this point. It's something that we do really want to narrow down and focus on, because there's a lot happening this year. We don't know. We may end up doing some stuff for the winter. I'll say that much. We're trying to plan ahead, but it's quite difficult, as you can imagine. There's so many balls being juggled at once.
Oh, I got a really good question here from Joe Biden in Ohio. Craig, would you agree that an average beer in a great can will vastly outsell an excellent beer in a boring can?
Oh, in terms of mediocre beer, good label, good beer, crap label?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yes is the short answer to that. Love it or love it, craft is now down to marketing. It helps an awful. Let me rephrase this. It's very easy to sell a good labeled can with a bad product once. It's very hard to get that repeat. So the stuff inside the can has got to be good.
People know.
It's very easy to sell a one-off thing once if the liquid inside is rubbish, but it's branded well. If you've got good branding and good liquid, you've got that repeat customer, and that's where you scale your business.
Yeah, totally. Some great, including yourself, some great breweries out there who are smashing it with the cans at the moment. Absolutely smashing it. So, are we going to have a look at the transfer?
Yeah, sure. So this is the first time we can actually publicly talk about this. We did post about it on our social media, but just behind me, if I lift you guys up here, you can see just behind me that is our new Centrifuge.
Fantastic.
So that's going to allow us to knock about 5 days off of our brew to package time between our after we dry hop it. Obviously, we've got to let everything settle down. We've got to let the yeast settle down, the hops, everything like that. That centrifuge is going to help us knock that out really quickly. We can easily knock 3 days off our packaging cycle. So position you guys here. There we go. So that's it there.
Fantastic.
It's pretty small, but in terms of throughput, it's incredible. Very fun bit of kit. It's just starting to be commissioned today, so that's why it's not plumbed into anything just yet.
Fantastic. That is great. So, what's the next stage of the brewing process, Craig?
Yeah, so we're doing the work transfer, as I said, into the kettle. So what we're going to do is let's head back over to the brew house side of things. Just have another look at the tank on.
Yeah, look at that.
As I said, a noisy working brewery. I'll show you this quickly. Outside, that's all the tables.
Oh, look at that. That looks fantastic, an outside area. And the
all
sunshine.
The tables being labelled up. Yeah, so we're going to be in our car park. We've got 15 tables still. Lots of seating. All the tables be 1.5 meters apart on the closest point. So they're all staggered, so they're really far apart. Easily, comfortably sit 6 adults. So we're lucky on that.
So you're opening at 4 o'clock this afternoon?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
All right, so
fantastic.
Let's see if I can head up here. There we go. So you won't be able to see much because it'll be dark, obviously.
Yeah, we're transferring.
We're transferring. Back here, so that's going into the kettle there. You won't be able to see much of anything. You can see the work just transferring in nice and slowly.
Yep, I can see.
There. So about, looking at the kettle, about just under halfway now. It's lovely and hazy.
Fantastic.
Take an awful lot of oats to give you that haze. So
great. Brilliant, fantastic. So I haven't done this for such a long time now. I spent most of the year just drinking beer. We're going to boil next, aren't we?
So it's going to take a good 45 minutes or so, 45 minutes to an hour, I would say. 45 minutes probably to finish filling up the kettle. They've got the first jacket open on the kettle now to start heating up the water, heating up the work. We'll be getting to boil probably, I would say, in an hour and a half or so. I'll check with the team and we'll get back to you. We're not doing much in terms of hops at the beginning. We're adding in a little bit of what's called flex, say, like a hop extract for bitterness, to give you some stability in the kettle. But then everything else is going to be whirlpool additions. So for anybody that tuned in at the first stream, there was the question of whether or not we would get our Sabro Incognito hop extract for the kettle. We have an update. Unfortunately, it's not a good update. It's not arriving today. We've been let down by our supplier and it only got dispatched today. So unless they've got some really fast delivery drivers, it's not getting to us today.
Do you know what, though? We're going to use some other fantastic hops in this brew.
Well, we figured, and I think I'll get your opinion on this. We're just going to go purely Citra Cryo on this one. I think that would be really interesting. So we'll maximize the amount of Citra oils that we can get in this beer. So it will be particularly tropical, of course, with Citra. But then when it comes to the dry hop, we'll do a mix of probably Citra Cryo and then Citra T90 pellets. So we can get kind of a good variation of everything. We can use some interesting stuff there. But we'll just go with Citra on this one and just white off.
Yeah, okay, this is great. So come back for the boil in an hour and a half. So about 2:30, we'll come back live for the boil. And I reckon 2:30, Craig, it might be time to have our first beer of the day. What do you think, eh?
Oh, maybe for you, not for me. I've got a lot of work. I'm here till 10 o'clock tonight. I've got a long day ahead of me.
Yeah, I'll be doing the Stone Crow till 11, so I might have a cup of tea as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll see you in an hour and a half. So everybody, please tune in at 2:30 p.m. where we'll be we'll be doing the boil for the beer.
Yeah.
My brewing language is not the same. I haven't been out. I haven't been out the kitchen for a year. Okay, thanks, Craig.
No worries.
See you in an hour and a half.
All right.
Cheers.